NXT Vengeance Day last night. A very, very great pay-per-view, man. A very, very good TakeOver pay-per-view. We got Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai winning the whole Dusty Rhodes Women's Cup. Women's Classic Tag Team Cup. And we got MSK winning their Men's Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Cup. And we got Shirai retaining her NXT Women's Championship over Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez, which I thought was one of the best matches on the show. And we got Johnny Gargano retaining his North American Championship. And we got the heel turn of Adam Cole. I bet the majority of the community yesterday was talking about that. Everyone's talking about Adam Cole turning on Kyle O'Reilly. Which, that didn't shock me. I'm going to explain to you on this review why it didn't shock me later on in the review tonight. We're going to go over everything that went down on NXT TakeOver Vengeance. We're going to go over it all right here on my Ingram Wrestling News YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ingram Wrestling News' very own Brandon Ingram here live with your WWE NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day 2021 review. This is an actual review, so if you're new to the channel, man, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications so you won't miss all of my Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War content, my Naruto Ultimate Storm 4, Dragon Ball Z Burst 2 content, and all of my NXT, SmackDown, and Raw reviews that go live each and every week. Usually I say at Ingram Wrestling, but it's at Ingram Wrestling News. But follow me on Twitter at Ingram Wrestling. Follow me on Twitch at Ingram Wrestling News if you would like to. There's content on there as well. And also, be sure you subscribe, man. Very important for you. It's very important to subscribe to the channel because I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I am dangerously close to 200. So please, hit that subscribe button so we can get to 200, man. If you can help me get to 200, man, I will try to do something special here on the channel. So, we're going to go ahead and get started with the review here. NXT opens up with a Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic. I'm not even going to review the kickoff show because I really don't care about that. But NXT kicks off with the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. So Shotzi starts the match against Gonzalez and takes her back with a sleeper. Raquel slings Shotzi off, and she makes the tag to Moon. Gonzalez elbows Moon, but gets caught in a Black Widow submission. That was a great Black Widow submission, by the way. Gonzalez throws Moon off, but Shotzi comes in, and they double team her, but Raquel throws Moon out of the ring and slams Shotzi. So Gonzalez lifts and slams Shotzi into the corner for repeated shoulder tackles before tagging Kai. Then, Blackheart quickly takes over and uses quick tags with Ember to isolate Kai. Now, Shotzi applies a single leg Boston Crab. But Dakota gets to her feet and swings an enziguri, but ducks and drags her over to the corner. Moon comes in and tags a heel hook on Dakota Kai, slowly fights back and makes the tag to Gonzalez. After some confusion, when the referee missed a tag, Gonzalez runs through Moon and Blackheart, hitting both with fallaway slams. Blackheart knocks Raquel out of the ring and slaps her a few times from the apron. Shotzi jumps for a Hurricane Rana, but Gonzalez holds on and powerbombs her into the barricade. Ember and Dakota Kai are still going at it in the ring, but Gonzalez cuts Moon off and drops her with a right hand. Dakota tags in again and hits a running kick to Moon in the corner. Ember rallies and hits both women with a senton, then goes up top and hits the Eclipse. Moon covers, but Dakota Kai gets inside and distracts the referee. Raquel gets up and grabs Moon, but Shotzi hits them both with a fallaway. No, she hits them. Actually, they hit them both with a front drop kick from up top. That's what I meant to say. Moon hits a scissors kick for a near fall. Then tags are made to both women. Blackheart runs through Dakota and hits her with a spinning facebuster for a near fall. Gonzalez tags in, and Shotzi hits sliced bread. I don't know why I said legs. It looked like it did say legs though, but it said tags. Yeah, she do got good looking legs though, Raquel Gonzalez does. Then dives through Moon's legs with a suicide dive to Dakota Kai. Shotzi and Dakota double team Raquel, hitting a sunset flip and a splash for a near fall. Now, Dakota runs to the apron, but Shotzi gets her up in the electric chair. Then Moon dives off the top rope with a crossbody, and all three are down on the floor. Raquel gets Moon back in the ring, but Ember kicks her in the knee and goes to a modified STF. Now, Dakota Kai breaks the submission and hits Shotzi with a rolling backbreaker for a near fall. Gonzalez tags back in and slams Shotzi, then throws Moon over the ropes onto the elevated ramp. Raquel goes out and tosses. He goes out and tosses Moon off the stage, then goes back in, but Blackheart hits a springboard leg drop to crush her. Shotzi tosses Dakota Kai over the ropes onto Gonzalez, then looks to jump onto them both, but Raquel shoves her off into the ring. Now, Raquel then body presses Dakota over the ropes onto Shotzi before getting inside and hitting the one-hand powerbomb to win the whole thing. Now, this was a great tag team match, man. I really loved it. It was fantastic. I was impressed with all four ladies, what all four ladies did in the ring. I was really impressed. So now, basically, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez have now won the tournament. So that means they've won the women's trophies. They won the whole thing. They won the whole damn thing, man. And this was one of the best decisions that WWE ever came up with, having both of those ladies win that. Really was one of the best, one of the greatest decisions ever, to have them win that whole thing. But seriously, the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final match was awesome. I'm a huge fan of all four women. I'm a huge fan of Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, Ember Moon, and Shotzi Blackheart. just like my good old moderator Justin is. They did an unbelievable job. They did a fantastic job. They did really phenomenal, man. What a great performance. That's how you draw fucking fans right there. That's how you draw audience. Booking good tag team matches like that is how you it's how you fucking bring in audience right there, man. That's how the viewership goes up. You book great matches like that, you book good segments, you book good promos, the viewership will go up. If you book something different every week, the viewership will get a whole lot better. If you book the same stuff on the show every week, the viewership is going to more than likely go down. You can't have that. You can't book the same stuff every week, man. That's what WWE over on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown does. Bruce is the one that does that shit, booking the same matches, the same fucking segments every fucking week. At least that's not the case for NXT, at least. Thank God. So, we got the North American Championship match. We got Johnny Gargano versus Kushida. This was a high anticipated championship match right here. This was also one of the best matches that was on that NXT Vengeance Day card, man. So, anyways, as I was saying, Johnny Gargano versus Kushida for the North American Championship. The match gets underway and Kushida dives onto Gargano with an armbar, but Johnny grabs the ropes. Now, they take the fight to the ground and struggle for control. Kushida takes a headlock and Gargano flings him off and looks for a rolling kick, but Kushida ducks it. They continue exchanging amateur holds, but Gargano slides out of the ring. And Kushida chases after, but Johnny tosses him into the steel steps. Now, the reason why Johnny slides out the ring, I don't know if you all know this, but it's something called, this is what a lot of heels do. A lot of heels does this all the time. We see a lot of heels on TV do this. When they slide under the ring, man, they're basically taking a breather. They're basically trying to escape because they know that the babyfaces are going to do a whole lot of damage to them. That's why they do that. They know the babyfaces are going to do a whole lot of damage. The heels know how good the babyfaces are. So the heels are more than likely have to slide on the ring. They have to take a breather. Especially if babyfaces are going to do so much damage to them, you know. So, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But Kushida gets Johnny in a hoverboard lock on the floor. And he taps, but it doesn't count. Kushida gets Gargano back in the ring and goes to work on the arm and ribs. Kushida utilizes joint manipulation to target the arm, but Gargano tosses him over the ropes and hits a neckbreaker on the apron. Gargano hands Kushida on the apron and delivers a few elbows to the back of the neck. Gargano takes a headlock, but Kushida reverses into an octopus stretch. Gargano powers himself free, and both men hit stereo clotheslines. They exchange shots, and Gargano hits an enziguri, but Kushida gets him in the ankle lock. Johnny reaches the ropes, but Kushida hits a German suplex followed by a super kick for a near fall. Kushida throws Gargano to the apron, and Johnny attempts a spear through the ropes, but gets caught by Kushida. He gets caught by Kushida's DDTs. Kushida DDTs him and carries through into another. So basically, he got caught, and Kushida DDTs him and carries through another. And Gargano rolls to the apron and looks for the float over DDT, but Kushida hits an enziguri. Kushida grabs Johnny by the arm and runs him shoulder first into the ring post. So, from the looks of it, guys, it looked to me like Kushida was basically taking over in this match. Basically, he was taking control. He knew he had Johnny Gargano. He knew he had him. Johnny Gargano didn't have nowhere to fucking go. I mean, come on. Kushida is one of the best in-ring performers on that NXT roster, man. You're not gonna fucking get away from Kushida that easy. Especially given the fact that Kushida is fast. It's really fast in the ring. One of the most dangerous moves in WWE, that hoverboard lock, man. You're never going to get away from something like that. But anyways, as I was saying, where was I? Oh, Kushida grabs Johnny by the arm and runs him shoulder first into the ring post. Okay, I already said that. Gargano knocks him back and goes to the top rope, but Kushida hits a handspring kick. And then, this is what happened next, folks. Here's what happened next. Then Kushida attempts a superplex, but Gargano twists in midair to counter it. So then, he follows up with a springboard tornado DDT. Gargano looks for a head scissors, but Kushida avoids it, then hits his own into an armbar, but Gargano counters it, and they go back and forth. Gargano rolls him up for 2. Then they hit stereo clotheslines again. Now both men slowly climb to their feet and start throwing punches and kicks. Kushida looks for another handspring back elbow, but gets caught in the Gargano escape. Kushida fights the hold and eventually turns it into the hoverboard lock. They exchange roll-ups. Then Gargano hits a super kick, and Kushida looks for a tilt-a-whirl into an armbar again. But Gargano lawn darts him into the turnbuckle, and Gargano catches Kushida with a chicken wing suplex into the post. Kushida takes Gargano up to the top rope and hits a flying armbar. Now, Gargano fights it and flirts with tapping, but gets to his feet on the rope. Johnny rolls out of the ring, and Kushida disappears. Now, then he appears on the top of the stage and runs down to kick Gargano's arm. Kushida gets Johnny inside and goes to the armbar again, but Gargano slams him into the ropes. Kushida rolls out onto the elevated ramp. And Gargano hits him with the float over DDT. Gargano gets him back inside and hits the DDT again and gets the clean win over Kushida. So, this was never going to be the level of a Johnny TakeOver match, folks, given the mostly empty arena. But to be honest, man, I'd be damned if these two didn't try to make it just that. Johnny sent away to go looking for Austin Theory during it. But this was a great match, man. I mean, it wasn't really. It wasn't really. The match wasn't really like some people thought it would be. It wasn't really like people thought it would turn out to be. But it was a good match. I love what Kushida did, man. I really did. This was a great match. But it was good to see Kushida putting up a fight despite that, though. Hell of a twisting suplex reversal gimmick. Highlight move of the night. That was the highlight move of the night, man. It really was. But this was a hell of a twist suplex reversal gimmick. Now, folks, I'm not disappointed. Nothing else happened here other than just the end of the match. Nothing with other members of the Way or Dexter Lumis at all. I mean, honestly, it's a shame. You know? So then we got MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. That was the next match we got on the show. So, Grizzled Young Veterans versus MSK. We start things off. They start things off with Nash Carter and Zach Gibson, and they lock up. So, Gibson forces Carter to the corner, then down to the mat. Carter fights up and tries to use his speed, but Gibson forces him to the corner and tags James Drake. Drake takes a headlock, but Carter quickly fights up and hits a springboard spinning crossbody before tagging Wes Lee. They double team Drake in their corner, and Carter hits a Bronco Buster. MSK knocks Drake from the ring, then double team Gibson with double stomps. So then he rolls from the ring. Lee then dives over the ropes onto both with a twist tope. Lee gets back inside and Carter jumps off his back onto James Drake, but Gibson avoided it and hits a big clothesline on the floor. So Gibson gets Carter back inside and elbows him. Elbows him a few times before landing a neckbreaker for 2. Drake tags in and continues the assault on Carter and makes the tag to Gibson, who goes to a front face lock. Drake comes in again and they try to double team him, but Carter ducks and dodges, but runs right into a big clothesline from Drake. They get Carter in the corner, but he starts fighting back and hits a snap suplex to Drake. Carter looks to make a tag, but Gibson grabs Lee on the apron to prevent a tag. Then gets inside to double team Carter while Lee is arguing with the referee. Drake slams his knee into Carter's back over and over before applying a rear chin lock. Carter fights free and slides under a clothesline and tags Lee. West comes in like a bullet with a flying forearm to Drake. then kicks to Gibson and sends them both out of the ring. So then Lee runs and leaps over the ring post onto the veterans on the floor, gets Gibson back inside and hits a handspring kick for a near fall. Now Carter tags in and punches Gibson a few times, then hits a springboard cutter for a near fall. Lee tags in, but Gibson tosses Carter out and hits a knee to the face of Lee. Now Drake tags in as Gibson hits a spinning suplex and James lands a 450 for a near fall. Gibson gets Lee up in an electric chair looking for a doomsday device, but Lee rolls him up for 2 as Drake dives for the clothesline. I was thinking that Lee name was referring to Keith Lee, but it wasn't. I mean, they're not related. Carter comes in and they drop both veterans. Then Carter does a backflip and pushes him over Drake into Gibson. So this looks to me like MSK was taking control after the Grizzled Young Veterans took control of them in this match. So MSK hit 2 huge dives onto Drake, but he kicks out. Gibson drags Lee out of the ring and onto his shoulders. Then Drake hits a suicide dive doomsday device. Gibson and Drake get inside and double team Carter with a wheelbarrow facebuster for a near fall. Gibson screams in Carter's face and slaps him. Then they attempt to take it to mayhem, but Lee comes in so they can hit double super kicks. MSK knock Gibson out of the ring and hit Drake with the double team blockbuster for the win. Hey, Williams, I didn't add you as moderator to come in here and disrespect me when I'm trying to do a review, man. I'm just throwing it out there. I added you as moderator to monitor the fucking chat. So this was a good tag team match. This was a really, really, really good tag team match, man. Now, I had a question as to whether are there any theories yet on what MSK stands for. I'm guessing Machine Son Kelly, I don't know. Mystery Science, I don't know. Wes Lee and NASCAR are basically might of the flippy indie guys era. But they're defiantly entertaining to watch, man. But I really don't want to see suicide dives every single match these days in wrestling, you know? You know what I mean? Now, the Topi clothesline setup with James Drake diving and taking out Wiz Lee and set up by Zach Gibson was an example of how I want to see suicide dives, not just a generic Topi in 7 out of 10 matches on every show, you know? That was very cool. Winning a tournament like this as quickly after coming into the roster as these guys have means Triple H must really, really like them, man. That's a good sign. Even if they lose their match, even if they lose their title match down the line, thumbs up. I gotta give them thumbs up on this, man. Really. So we got the NXT Women's Championship match. We got Io Shirai versus Mercedes Martinez versus Toni Storm for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, this Women's Championship match was very interesting. This was this in my opinion, was one of the best matches on the pay-per-view. It really was. From watching it, I'm pretty sure from you all watching it, it was one of the best matches on the pay-per-view. They really, all three of these women really killed it in the ring. Hell, they're doing better than... It's funny because the NXT Women's Division is doing way better than the freaking Raw and SmackDown Women's Division. Sadly. Yeah. But NXT Women's Division is doing way better than the SmackDown Raw Women's Division. I mean, look at the NXT Women's Division. And the NXT Women's Division is stacked, man. With so much potential on that roster. You can do so much storylines. You can do so much segments with these ladies, man. It's just not even funny. So much. You could do so much storylines. You could put a lot of these women in storylines, in feuds, and all that. And I'm pretty sure you all have a lot of favorites, of NXT favorites, man. But anyways, so we got Martinez attacking Io before her entrance is finished. And kicks her out of the ring. Mercedes takes down Storm, but Io comes back and knocks her out. Io and Storm hit some reversals, and Io catches her with a wheelbarrow. Roll into a double stomp. Storm fights out of the ring, of the corner, and knocks Io to the chest. Then hits a sliding clothesline against the ropes. Storm goes out and dives onto Mercedes. Shirai gets on the apron and looks for a moonsault, but nobody's home. And Martinez clotheslines her over the barricade. Now Storm and Mercedes get in the ring and struggle for control, but Io comes back and drops Mercedes with a missile drop kick. Io runs, but Storm catches her with a big boss man slam. Storm then runs at Martinez, but gets caught with a spine buster for a near 2 count. Mercedes applies a modified STF, but Io drop kicks Mercedes to break the hold. Io then grabs Storm with a crossface, but Martinez gets Io in a dragon sleeper, and all three women are in the submission. Io releases the hold and knocks Mercedes onto the middle rope for a 619. Shirai hits a springboard drop kick that kicks Martinez out of the ring. Io goes up top, but Storm kicks her off. Martinez climbs up behind Toni. It hits a release German suplex. Martinez is in the tree of wound, and Io jumps on her with a double stomp. All three women are down. The action spills out of the ring, and Shirai is slammed into the barricade, and Toni catches Mercedes with a neckbreaker. Storm clears the announce desk, but it literally collapses. Storm lifts Mercedes. It looks to hit Storm 0 on the floor, but Martinez reverses into a DDT. Io climbs the gutter by the announce desk and leaps onto both of them. Shirai slowly gets up first, but Martinez whips her into the steel steps. Martinez gets Toni back in the ring and hits a fisherman buster for a 2 count. Storm fights back and hits a Storm 0, but Martinez kicks out. Storm goes up top and hits a diving headbutt, but Io comes off the top with a moonsault to break the pin and covers Martinez. This was a really good triple threat match. WWE made the right decision to have Io Shirai retain over those two. But what are they going to do with Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez? That remains to be the question. What are they going to do with these two? Are they going to have these two feuding? Are they going to have Toni Storm turn face on Mercedes Martinez? Or what? What are they going to do? I mean, Io Shirai's moonsault onto no one and just smacking her head on the barricade was so flawless, and yet it looks like it was awful. You know. That Io Shirai, man, that was a good splash from Io Shirai off the tail structure around the ring. It really was. I still think it was the right call. Shirai pinning Martinez to retain her title was the right call. I'm not mad. I've honestly been fond of any of these women walking out with the title, to be honest. Now, it seems like Martinez is the power, Shirai is the high flying, and Storm is the seemingly the technical rock of the match. Now, I can kind of dig it. Any of you in the chat can kind of dig it. But, good match. Impressed by the women's division. The NXT women's division continues to be one of the best women's divisions in all wrestling, in all pro wrestling. Big fan of all three of these women, man. Io Shirai, of course, folks, she goes to continue to show why she is such a dominant women's champion. That's what we need. A dominant, actual dominant women's champion, man. Exactly what we fucking need. So we got Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne. But before that, we see a video from earlier today of LA Knight, known as Eli Drake. That's what his name is, Eli Drake. Signing his NXT contract. Then a replay of his awesome promo on the kick-off start. So that's when we got Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne, the main event of NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. This was a really good championship match, man. It was really good. I was impressed with these two men. I was impressed with everybody. Everybody that put on their best performance ever, man. This championship match had so much potential. Pete Dunne could have been NXT champion, man. But that wasn't the case. That was the opposite. We got the championship match getting underway, and they go hold for hold. Balor tries to take the wrist, but Dunne takes him down. And Balor gets the rope. Once he gets to the rope, they make to lock up again. And Balor takes Dunne down with a side headlock. Dunne turns the tables and takes a head scissors on the mat. Balor jumps out and they share a stare down. Now they continue exchanging holds, but Dunne takes Finn down and bends his arms. Dunne stands on Finn's left arm, then grabs the other arm and snaps it back while bending the fingers. Balor is in a lot of pain as Dunne goes to the fingers and twists the arm. Balor pushes himself off the mat to try and relieve pressure, but Dunne shoves his knuckles into the muscle. Balor stomps on Dunne's knuckles into the muscle. Balor stomps on Dunne's foot, then applies an STF before rolling into a knee bar. Dunne applies another submission, but Balor hits a twisting suplex and hurts his knee in the process. Balor gets up and they trade punches and slaps, but Balor goes right back to targeting the knee. Balor stomps the knee and drops. I was going to say drag. Drops forearms to the back of Dunne's head before going into an STF. Now, Dunne breaks out, but Balor beats him into the corner and hits a running chop. Dunne tries to do a backflip on the buckles, but his knee gave out and Balor kicks it. Balor attempts a Pele kick, but Dunne catches the leg and stomps his face a few times. Dunne hits a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Dunne pins Balor's arm to the mat and jumps on it. Then hits a snap German suplex and stomps on the fingers. Dunne swings a kick, but Balor ducks and chop blocks him. Balor hits a backstabber, then lands 1916. Balor goes to the corner and hits a shotgun dropkick, then heads up. Balor jumps for the coup de grace, but gets caught in a triangle choke. Balor touches the bottom rope with a finger trip, but Dunne rolls him back into the middle of the ring and punches his face in the triangle. Balor inches his way backwards and eventually gets a foot on the bottom rope and he's unconscious. Dunne lifts Balor, but the referee stomps him once the referee stops him. Balor comes to and says he can go, so Dunne runs over and kicks him. Balor counters Dunne and goes to the abdominal stretch, but Dunne goes back to snapping the fingers. Dunne hits the bitter end, but Balor kicks out. Dunne jumps on the hand of Balor and stomps on them. Super kicks him and looks for a powerbomb, but Balor counters with a DDT. Balor runs for the corner dropkick, but Dunne kicks him. Balor hits the Pele kick, then counters the bitter end and lands Bloody Sunday for a near fall. Balor grabs Dunne but gets the fingers snapped, but Finn comes back with a double stomp. Balor takes the mouthpiece out of Dunne, then hits a running dropkick to the face and goes up top for a coup de grace, but Balor lifts Dunne and hits 1916 for the win. So Balor is leaving the ramp, battered and bruised. Out come Arnie Larkin and Daddy Burns to attack the champion. They get Balor back in the ring and Dunne helps them bitter Finn until the Undisputed Era ran down and the heels retreat. O'Reilly offers Finn a hand and he helps him up. Balor and O'Reilly pay respect to each other. Then all four men pose together and the show ends, but Adam Cole super kicks Balor. O'Reilly and Strong asks Cole what he's doing, but Cole super kicks O'Reilly as well. And that was it. I wasn't shocked about the Adam Cole heel turn. The reason why is because, number one, I predicted that this was going to happen all along. I predicted this on my NXT reviews last year. Last year on my NXT reviews, I predicted that there was going to be an Undisputed Era breakup storyline happening. And looks like this is the start of the Undisputed Era breakup storyline. From the looks of it. But I was not surprised at all. That right there, a heel turn right there. A heel turn is how you end a NXT TakeOver show. That's how you end a pay-per-view right there, man. That was one of the most shocking heel turns that I'm sure the majority of community has ever witnessed in that pay-per-view, man. But I never expected. A lot of people A lot of people never expected this Adam Cole heel turn to happen. I mean, it was just to some people in the community, it was just out of nowhere. It was just unexpected, man. Really. Unexpected. Which makes me wonder, what does Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor have to say about Adam Cole turning heel on this week's NXT? I wonder if they're scheduled to be on this week's NXT or not. That's my question. Are they? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below if you think that Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly are going to be showing up on this week's NXT, addressing Adam Cole's heel turn and asking why he did it. That NXT Championship match, it was a really good match. Even though we see Finn Balor and Pete Dunne pretty much do the same stuff every week, you can't deny how good these guys are. You just can't. You really can't. Could we be getting a Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole perhaps for WrestleMania 37? If we do, count me in, man. I'm betting my money on this one. A heel Adam Cole versus a babyface Kyle O'Reilly. Do you know how good that match would be? Imagine how good that match would be, folks. Just imagine. Imagine how good it would be. Folks, Undisputed Era is no more, man. I'm telling you now. Roger Strong was stunned, man. He was so stunned, dude. He was shocked. It's almost as if he was getting ready to fall on the fucking floor. That's how shocked Roger Strong was, man. Y'all should have seen that guy, man. He was shocked. He was literally stunned. I mean, I really don't have nothing else to say, man. To be honest. That's just my thoughts on it. That is just definitely my thoughts on it. Well, folks, that's going to do it for your February the 14th, 2021 NXT review. If you enjoyed this, man, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. And I'm actually going to be streaming Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 this weekend. Try to do some online battles on there. And next month I am getting a new game. It's either going to be Battlegrounds, Jump Force, or maybe perhaps something very, very new. Maybe Fall Guys. But folks, I'm getting out of here. You all have a good day. Peace. I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me for my review. TNT, man, thank you for joining me for my review, man. I saw your comments in the chat. I think Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly would be a very good match for WrestleMania 37. I agree. And Williams, I'm gonna have a talk with you, man, because I don't think you understand and realize what reviews are. So I'm gonna have a talk with you. And so you can have a better understanding. Anyways, I'm getting out of here, folks.